Hello everybody, hope you're having a great morning. Kirk here again with you. Just wanted to have a good morning walk and discuss some things that are probably on a lot of people's minds, So, I know for men, especially women too, but men, we always kind of are in this constant transition period. Sometimes we're distracted and we're in a zone where we have too much comfort, entertainment, things readily available to us in terms of like video games and distractions, alcohol, drugs, whatever your numbing serum is, whatever, that's what I call it, numbing serum. There's a lot of people who watch porn, Porn, CORN. I don't want to keep saying the word, so I'll just say corn, but you know what I'm talking about. Watching that. Playing around with things we shouldn't play around with. And then there's other times where we're really in a good state of mind. Our spirit is strong. Our connection with God is strong. Our connection within ourselves is strong. We have a balance in life. We have good and bad things happening, but we're able to stand strong and be like, hey, this is who we are, And people notice it, they feel it. They feel your presence either way, They feel whether you're weak or strong. They feel whether you're up or down. That can be felt around with people, But the point I'm trying to make is there's some people who no matter what, there's certain weaknesses you'll always have, and there's certain strengths you'll always have. And in the weaknesses, we can do our best to make them stronger, or make it so we don't have them as bad. But no matter what self-improvement we try and do, or what we do for exercise, or mental health, or spiritual health, there's certain things that just continue to be. So for instance, in 2023, I started practicing SR. I don't want to say the word because of the algorithms, but SEMEN ... retention. I've been doing that with mixed results. Now, if you look a lot of people online or on YouTube who are doing that, they came across the study of brahmacharya, or in the Christian circles, celibacy and building within, or on an even deeper level than all those, they realize that dumping your seed for no reason, too often, even at all maybe, is very detrimental to your testosterone, to your biology on a physical level, and to your destiny, as well as your DNA and your purpose on a spiritual level. So if I would have had more discipline in my 20s with that and not done that, there could have been some things I avoided. As a man, our essence is in our seed, our essence is in the life force that we carry. I know some people got into that because of trauma as a children that happened to them, trauma as a child that happened to them, or it's a distraction from their world around them. Just like if you went out drinking all the time, which I used to do as well, go out drinking and think you're having a good time and you're numbing yourself to your reality. But in actuality, when the numbing goes away, everything is the same or worse than when you left it. And people leech off of you when you're not disciplined. They leech off of your vibration. They leech off of your aura and your essence. They take advantage of you in more ways than you could think. So in 2023, I started researching all this stuff about it and realizing that was one of my problems in life, is I wasn't doing that. I wasn't being disciplined in that area. There's been times I've been disciplined in many other areas in my life, and that was always a thing of I wasn't disciplined. So 2023, I started doing that, and I was looking forward to all these other benefits that all the other guys on the YouTube were saying. Oh, you'll get a lot of female attraction. You'll get a lot of people coming after you, and they'll want you, and they'll want this and that and the other thing. And it's not necessarily true. And in fact, when I first started doing it, I was doing it for that reason. That's the wrong reason to do it. The right reason to do it would be to grow, to become the best version of yourself, to think of your plans for the future, if you have any, or the present time, to work on your spirit, your focus, your identity, or focus on losing your identity, whatever you're trying to do. There was one guy I was watching, he's like, if you're not doing things with this where you're not attracting people and you're not attracting situations in your life, you're not doing it right. And he was making it all sound like it was about monetary gain or gain of women or anything like that. And that can happen, I guess. So with my situation, I was starting it off, and I did 2 or 3 weeks the first time, felt a little different, had a little relapse. Then I went on the streak of 10 months. So what was it? April of 2023 until January of 2024. 10 months. No fat, no masturbation, no anything like that. And I hadn't been on porn, I stopped watching porn most of the way when I was like 23, 22. There was a few times here and there where I got into that, but not too much. So that wasn't the problem. Mine was just realizing that every time I got stressed out, it's too much. Someone got me too mad. I wanted to go and do that. Then I did it, felt okay for a while, and I realized the sensation was only temporary. So in that 10-month period, I did gain a lot of confidence. I did walk more upright. I was more firm in my convictions. I was more strong in the things I wanted to communicate with people. I was able to work harder at my job, get a lot more done. The tiredness was off and on, but it mostly went away. And here's the thing with the female attraction thing, alright? I've never been very good with women at all. They don't like me, they don't respect me, they don't want to really build anything with me. I was attracting women, but on a superficial level. Women seemed to be all giggly and happy and flirty with me, but they only wanted my energy that I was exuding. I guess they could maybe tell there was something different about me. I don't really know if they could tell or not. They came to me more, they talked to me, and we had conversations better than I used to have, but it never really went anywhere. They kind of just used me for advice or went places with me. I had a couple times where these two girls from work, I would go places with them. They asked me a bunch of questions, and it never really went anywhere with anybody. It just became a thing where they noticed, that I had something that they wanted in terms of either wisdom in certain areas of life, or life questions and advice, or someone to shoot the breeze with, I guess. I don't know. And after the 10 months, I had a bunch of relapse phases where I relapsed in January. Had a couple days where I just, was really stressed out and built up a lot of energy to the point where I felt kind of aggressive and angry, and I was working out a lot and doing my prayer and meditation and meeting with people and having meetings and working and keeping myself busy. But after that, I had like 5 or 6 months where I couldn't get it together. So 2024 was an up and down year for the SR. I had a 3 weeks stretch, then I stopped for 4 or 5 weeks. Couldn't get it together. It was like a few days on, a few days off. Middle of the year, started another streak. It was like 2 or 3 months. April, June, July was bad. August, September, October, got back on it again. Relapse again in October. And then this year has been pretty steady. I went through this phase of edging too much. So that takes away from your aura and it messes with your endocrine system as well as your nervous system. And 2024 is when I got 2 jobs, and I realized though that God did not really want me having them, because stupid things kept coming up where no matter how long my streak was, no matter what I was doing in my life, no matter how disciplined I was, how many prayers and meditations I had, there was still certain things that were coming to me that were maybe trying to knock me in the head and say, stop doing both, you're going to lose yourself. And I ended up losing a lot of my spiritual ground in that time frame as well. So in 2023, something weird happened to me. I went down to take a nap one day, and this was at the ending of the streak there. It's something that kind of messed with me a lot. So I went down to take a nap, and I heard this voice. It says, "I'm going to take your knowledge and wisdom." And at that point, I was really feeling strong. I felt really connected to God. I felt really connected to myself. I felt connected with things around me. And I was at peace. This was, what was it? It was October of 2023. October, November. I forgot, I should have wrote down the date. I want to say November 3rd. Anyway, from that point on, no matter what's happened with me, whether I'm doing well with SR and I'm doing well with my spirit, or whether I'm out there working hard and slaving away for nothing, or I'm not in a good spot at all with anything, it seems like from that point on, I've had a lot of trouble. So I'd say 3 weeks after that happened, I went into work one night, and I pretty much didn't know anything. This is weird. So I was working, I was doing dishes, I was prepping and doing other stuff, and I knew kind of what I was doing, but I felt I had no control of my body. Like, my arm was dropping things, my hand, I wasn't able to grasp stuff. And as the night went on, I got more and more fuzzy in the mind. So I didn't know where I was, who I was talking to. I forgot the name of most of my coworkers for the night. I barely had enough sense to get an Uber home. I barely knew what to hit on the phone to order that Uber home. Got the Uber ride home. It was like 11 o'clock. Told my mother, I was like, something's going on. I don't really feel right. I don't really know what's going on with anything. I said, I don't feel like I have any control of my mind or my thoughts or anything going on around me. And she was like, what? She kind of freaked out. And that night I passed out. I just fell on the bed and fell asleep. When I woke up the next day, I felt as if a lot of power and my thoughts and my aura was just sapped away from me. And the weird thing was, I was in the middle of doing what I was supposed to do there. I was in the zone, I guess you could say, up until that point. Ever since that time that happened, I really haven't been the same. Other people that I've talked to, I have a friend I see once in a while where I asked him, I was like, what's up with me? What do you sense about me that can kind of be different than what I would notice about myself? I said, how come women seem like they want to talk to me, but at the same time they're afraid of me, and at the same time they never want to have nothing to do with me, romantically, physically, whatever. I said, how come that, and how come I keep feeling off, but at the same time I still feel very strong? He said, well, ever since I've known you, you carry a presence about yourself. Certain times you say things, it's very strong and to the point. He said, if people don't know you, they might be intimidated by you, because you're so sure in what you say and do. You are so strong in what you say sometimes. The presence is there. So he used an example. We were discussing some private matters, something that happened with him. And I was like, no, that isn't right. They need to do this and this. I was referring to the situation. He said, that right there is what I'm talking about. You say things with authority, and sometimes your presence seems like you are intimidating, but you're not intimidating. He said, if people don't get to know you, they don't realize you're chill, really chill. He said that might be one of the things. I also had a discussion with another person one time, and they told me that once upon a time they went and get studied mentally at a place, and they were told that they have mild autism. They said that I kind of give off that vibe, and that it could be off-putting to some people. Anyway, the thing is I learned a lot during the start of my journey here until now. I don't know what that was about, why I had that voice into me, why I had that situation afterward. And I've never fully regrouped from that. There's something I feel is missing in my knowledge and wisdom, in my search, in my spiritual growth. It feels a little stunted here and there, but I'm slowly feeling like it's coming back to me. And I'm not going to declare whether I think it was good or evil, whether it was God or the devil, or whether it was just my own thoughts. I can't really 100% say, because I'm not used to audible voices. I mean, I've heard an audible voice here and there, and I did know one time that it was God. I heard the audible voice. It was very comforting. It was just my name. And then I couldn't hear very well the rest, but it was like, peace, be in peace. And I could feel for sure that that was God. That was 2012. I also heard an audible voice a long time ago, and I was still a teenager, and I knew that it wasn't good. It sounded bad. It was hard on my spirit, and I was thinking bad things for several weeks afterward. Stuff that you shouldn't be thinking about. But this instance, I really couldn't tell you whether it was meant for my good or meant for my demise, what the purpose was behind that, why that happened to me when I was doing good and not when I was falling away. I'm not going to say either way, because if you don't know 100% something and you make that mistake, you're kind of flirting with that unpardonable sin territory, which I don't want to do. So I've told people this, and I said, my opinion is this or that, and I've given opinions for each. I've given an opinion why it could be good or bad, and I said, I don't know 100%, so I'm not going to proclaim it. But ever since then, it's been such a strange journey where the strength I had felt and the courage through my knowledge and wisdom, along with my SR, along with my spiritual practice, along with my exercise I was doing, it's been patchy. But I've also learned a lot about myself. There was a lot of things I thought I got rid of. There's a lot of things I thought maybe, hey, I'm in good shape. I can not coast, but keep that straight line, keep everything kind of within my understanding, keep everything within a certain box, within a certain, whatever you want to call it in life. And then I realized there was quite a few things still inside that I had to push away or repent from, or try and do shadow work to get rid of. I also realized there's some things you can't get rid of, and if you absorb it inside you, you have to use it and channel it in a proper way. Anger, things like that. And my relationship with women has been so up and down. I still never got a girlfriend through that whole time, or now. And they've done a lot of silly things. Recently at this job I'm at now, there was a girl who we serve. We're like a cafeteria. We serve clients for a credit union. Okay. Those people that work there come downstairs. They get food. They eat in the dining area. And this one was talking to me for several weeks, and I kind of got the hint that she liked me, but I didn't really say anything. So she ends up quitting. Before she leaves, she gives her number to a female coworker of mine, and then she says, "Tell him my number. Give Kirk my number." She gives it to me, and I'm like, oh boy, because I know, like, women are so difficult. Like, I can't figure it out. So she gives me the number. I text her. We're having a good talk back and forth for one day and a half. And I guess she told her to give someone else the number too, another guy. And ever since she gave her number to that other guy, I texted her twice. I never heard nothing back. It's like ghosted. And I talked to him about it, because he didn't know. And he says he never even texted her. So it's like I was kind of set up where I think if both of us were texting her, she would have either stopped texting me or texted me for different reasons than she texted him. So that kind of thing has been happening. I've also had women pretend they like me, and then I hear their true intentions through their conversations with each other about their objective, their objectives and their purpose of talking to certain guys. Find out they're wanting them sugar daddies and this and that. I'm not for that. So there was these two girls that I worked with at the other job that I got fired from. Part of the reason I got fired is because of this stupid rumor that went around. But anyway, I used to invite a lot of people to karaoke, a lot of people to go do certain things on my little get-togethers I have on Saturday night. And one of them, she never went, and the other one only wanted to go when they were both talking to each other about me and this and that, they started kind of being flirty at work and poking around at like wanting me to go on a date with both of them. New Year's one time I went home from work and they're like, "What are you doing?" They text me and I said, "Well, I'm just sitting here having some chocolate milk. I'm gonna go to bed." "Oh, I love chocolate milk. You should make me one. You can share it with Bryn," was the second girl's name. So they would, do little flirty things like that. Then they asked me one time about dating and who I'm attracted to and this and that. And my spirit never felt really good about that, It never said go for it, So I kind of played them off. I was rude a couple times because I was trying to get the point across to just leave me alone. So one time they talked to me in the back when I was prepping in front of everybody, and they're like, "Well, do you want to go to karaoke now?" And I was like, "How come you want to go now? You never wanted to go before." I was like, "I've invited you how many times?" You said no. Now all of a sudden you want to go. And then they laughed, and I was like, "I don't know if I want to go." So they kind of left. They didn't bother me for a couple weeks. That day that happened, I guess people were laughing, and they're like, "Kirk, you kind of were rough." Like, I'm sure the other girl, they're like, "No one's ever talked to her this way before." I know they haven't. So I thought everything was over. I was like, whatever. 3-4 weeks later, they both come back there and they're like giggling and laughing. And they say, "Kirk, where would you take a girl if you went on a date?" I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. So I was like, I would take them to McDonald's because that's what most of them deserve. And they start laughing and, "No, that's mean." I was like, "I'm sorry." And I was just trying to be dismissive, because they're always dismissive towards me. They don't reciprocate anything with me. And then when I don't care anymore, they come back around and, it doesn't really make any sense at all. That happened. And over the next several weeks, this whole situation dragged on for a whole year and a half. From the end of 2023 until I got fired in May. It was on my birthday. Happy birthday, you're fired. Basically, a lot of rumors going around. They started to be kind of gossipers, and they spread a bunch of things about me that weren't true. So I got this phone call from one of the cooks back there one day, and she's like, "There's a lot of people here talking crap." And I'm like, "Well, where are you?" She goes, "Well, I'm at a restaurant with the people at work." She says, "We're at the View House. It's a restaurant here in Colorado Springs." She says, "We're all over here, and we had lunch, and I had some drinks. They had some drinks, and out of nowhere, they just start bringing you up, and 2 of them are talking about you." And I was like, "Oh, it's Kate and Bryn, right?" And they're like, she's like, "How'd you know?" I was like, "I just know." She says, "Yeah, they keep telling everyone that you came into work and threatened to shoot up the place, that you were making threats on the building, and that you were going to go into work and cause heck with a gun." And I'm just like, where does this even come from? I realized I got them mad, and instead of just handling it like a normal person, they decided to get a bunch of people to try and destroy me. And they ended up not destroying me, but they made me get angry and think about certain things here and there about why they did that and what was the purpose. They never really destroyed me. Even when I got fired, I don't really care. It was whatever. At that point, everyone around there kind of did me a favor. I was worn out really bad, and since I've gone down to 1, I kind of gotten myself back together. I'm out getting my walks in and been able to pray and meditate like I'm supposed to a point. I'm not as good as I was, but working both those jobs, I wasn't able to do anything. It was a quick 5-minute prayer in the morning. Sometimes at night I'd do a little meditation. Wasn't able to go for any walks except for on the day I was off. But anyway, all that stuff built up into more things. I started hearing more and more rumors, more and more this, more and more that. And it was all these girls. And it was only the younger ones. It wasn't the ones that are like 30 and up. It was 18 to 25. And most of them I treated very well. I helped them take their trash out. One of them, I helped her when she was having trouble with her car. Like, I sat down and talked to her and had a conversation, and I was complimentary towards her, and I always encouraged her at work. Another one of them, we used to have some good conversations, and I thought we were cool. And I find out that they're all just no. So with me, it feels like whether I'm on the SR journey or not, or whether I'm my best version of myself or my worst version of myself, I'm usually not in the middle. I'm usually one or the other. I'm usually a tyrant, or something's wrong with me. I'm not doing well, and I'm on the darkness, or I'm really doing well, and the best version of me is out. The strongest version of me is out. The darkness is channeled into something else, and the light is coming out. That's just how it is with me. It doesn't matter whether I'm one of those two things or the other, or I'm on my SR journey, or I'm focused or not, or I'm making money or not. They do not flock to me like that. They come to me for my energy. They come to me for something they think I know or that they want to get a hold of. But they never want physical intimacy. They never want dates. And if they do want dates, it's for a bad agenda. They're trying to find a sugar daddy. Or I also have a situation where, for some reason, I always attract a lot of taken women. Single women, they don't notice me. They look right past me. It's like I'm a booger on the wall or something. I've had engaged women, married women, women who are flirting with their relationship and being what they called open, I've had them come at me several times. Oh, you're handsome, you're smart. You're not like my boyfriend, you're not like my husband. And they're not very shy about it, they're very forward. And it's like, how come the single ones don't see that? Because I ain't about to be doing the affair thing, because the soul tie on that is ridiculous. It's a sin in God's eyes, of course, but on the deeper level, there's a thing called a soul tie. Every single time you have a physical encounter with someone, or even an emotional one sometimes, there's a divine spark if it's between two souls of light. But outside of that, there's a spiritual connection, and it's usually parasitic. Your bad stuff goes on to them, and their bad stuff comes on to you. The relationships they've had in the past, all the souls they've snatched from sex and doing things with free will, and I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna party. I'm gonna have sex. I'm gonna be with every different man or woman they're with. All their souls go onto them, and their wickedness and their baggage, I guess you could call it, spiritual baggage, emotional baggage, comes out during sex, comes out during kissing, even emotional connections once in a while. If you're really deep in connection with someone, the parasites just flow. It's called spiritual parasites. It's basically like having a tapeworm, but it's a spiritual tapeworm. It's like having a brain worm. It's a spiritual brain worm. Those things hook onto you. Yours hooks onto them if you're not right. Every time someone has sex, that bond is more than a physical connection. It's more than skin on skin. It's more than body fluids. It's more than kissing. There's DNA, there's RNA that are involved. There's the essence and the aura of the created individual in the woman. There's the essence, the aura, the vibe, the seed, and the presence of the man. And each one has a code. Like we have a genetic code, they have a spiritual code. Each code gets hacked every single time you have relations with someone. So if you're having relations with someone who's already taken, not only are you getting bad karma from our Father in heaven, he's mad at you, you're getting a parasite or a lustful spirit or a spirit of envy or strife that has been with that woman every time she's had sex with a man or a woman, because a lot of women do both. So whatever they've been doing is what I'm saying. It goes on to you in a spiritual sense. So let's say a man just one night makes a mistake and they can't handle themselves anymore, and they just sleep with some random chick, okay? And whether he knows she's taken or not, if she's taken, or even if she's not taken and she's single, if that woman has a bad spirit, if that woman has spiritual baggage, that man feels good all night, and the next day, oh, he's having a good old time. And then either that night or the next night or a week later, he drops something, breaks. He has a broken bone, gets in a car accident, loses his money. No. That stuff follows him around until the spiritual curse is lifted, or until he moves on to someone else, and potentially him having sex with her moves that onto the other woman, but then he'll attract something from her too. So that's why I don't really want to get involved with the affair thing. But it's like the world just keeps giving me this option: you either take what's given to you or nothing. I'll just take nothing, because these chicks don't really think straight sometimes. I don't know what's going on, you know. And at my strongest point, when I had a lot of confidence and I was doing really good with everything, and, you know, just life was flowing, I ended up walking up to this girl at work one time and asking her if she wanted to go to the fair, the state fair. Didn't answer me at all. No yes or no. Very disrespectful, just looks and then walks away, kind of dismissive. Like, you can at least give me an answer. I can take a yes or a no. But no answer at all, give me a break, you know? I just don't understand them, they don't understand me. And that's the thing I'm saying is, that's my thing. I'll never understand them, and I don't think they'll ever understand me. So I kind of have to live with that. So the streak I'm on now, I'm going to try and go 6 months to a year. I can get up in that 10-month range again. There are some good benefits. So you start to have more energy. You start to feel your connection to other things. If you pray and meditate, your connection to God gets stronger. The vibes you get from listening to music come out stronger. You know, when you're going down the road and you're listening to music and calling it vibing, we're vibing. It's because there's a certain vibe you're trying to get from your music. When you're on SR, you listen to music, you listen to a certain genre, you're listening to certain things for certain reasons, and it's directed towards your life, or you're focused on pushing forward with something, and you play a lot of rock and roll, or you play rap if you're motivated, whatever you're playing, that vibe from that music feels stronger in your spirit. The things you watch and listen to feel stronger. You take a walk out and around the park, you take a walk out in nature, you're able to kind of push that manifestation to be alone sometimes, but the animals will stay around you. Like, look here. There's nobody at this park. When I first got here, there was some people, and I kind of in my head, I was like, I want to be alone out here, so I can make my video and everything like that. People that were on their bike, they left. Someone in their truck sitting in the parking lot left. 2 people walking around, they left. So you do kind of get a little bit more of a, you know, a little bit more power, I guess you could say. You kind of can shun things away when you want to be alone. Sometimes certain animals will be drawn to you more. When I'm doing really well, my cat follows me around a lot more. The deer respect me. Some people, they walk by the deer, they get really nervous, or they run off, or they look like they're going to kick them. I walk by deer, male and female, the bucks, the does, and I get so close I can almost pet them. I ain't going to do that because I will get kicked, especially by the males. But females, I've only had them run away from me when I'm not in my good place. They run away from me because there's something off about me. But if I'm doing well, they stick around. They don't get scared of me. They walk away gently, and they give me respect. I give them respect. So there is certain things that happen. You know, you can get stronger. Your workouts feel better. Sometimes, like if you're fast and you do the SR, you do like a intermittent fasting to go along with it. yeah, you can feel stronger. You get more reps in, you get more pumps. Your walks can be longer. So there is some benefit, but you can't really make the purpose of it just to attract women. Because what if you're like me and you attract them, but they only want your energy? If you reject them, or you know you're not right for them, or they keep rejecting you, and your mindset goes awry, you basically messed up your journey because your mindset wasn't correct. So that situation where I didn't get an answer, that kind of messed with me for several weeks, months actually. So I was like, why am I doing this if it ain't working? It is working though. But some of us are meant to stay alone. Some of us are meant to not have anybody. I don't know why, I've asked that question and I don't get a full explanation. But there's something there where I'm like, I'm supposed to be alone for some reason. I have a different purpose in life. I have a different, road ahead of me. Maybe I'm supposed to stay alone for that reason. So instead of walking around in shame like I used to, up until very recently, get all frustrated and mad, this ain't working. If it's not in your destiny when you're doing it, if it's not in your destiny when you're not doing that, it still might not be in your destiny when you are doing it. What is in your destiny might get attracted to you outside of a relationship, So if you're on that road of SR, or you're wanting to do anything to improve yourself, don't do it for female attraction. Don't do it for material gain either. Do it for the purpose of being stronger, for being the better version of yourself, to be able to build yourself up so you can serve others properly, so you can serve yourself properly. You don't want to be like some people. Some people go on this journey because they want to build themselves up only. They don't care about no one anymore, and it's all about themselves. I kind of got that way when I was frustrated. So you want to build yourself up, but not just to build yourself up. You want to be able to be strong in yourself for other people and be able to serve them properly. Because our purpose in this life, first purpose, is to produce and make children. If that's not in your DNA, if that's not in your destiny, like maybe it's not in mine, then you have to find another physical purpose. We have different physical purposes. It's not always that. So if you can't fulfill your physical purpose, you have to focus on your spiritual purpose and your emotional purpose and your destiny as a whole. Ask yourself, what is your destiny? What is your spiritual purpose? What are you here to provide for humankind, for yourself, for the people around you? What do you have that makes the world a better place? That can help you get to there. And our purpose is a lifelong thing. You don't just wake up one day and get the one answer. There could be one answer one day for a season, and then you could be brought into a new scenario where your purpose is still the same, but there's an add-on to it, or it's a redirected path for some reason. Like if someone's a healer and they realize they're healing, they go around, they either pray for people or they touch them and they have a visualization of them being healed. Things open up, stuff like that. That could be their purpose for the year, for a month, a week. But then something could come along where there's something added to it. They're supposed to heal and they're supposed to help someone through a rough time. And through that rough time, they realize they also have the ability to have dreams and visions. Then something happens. They not only have the dreams and visions, but the prophecy comes out. They're able to say things before they happen and this and that. So it could be many different things. But you can't work through those things for superficial purposes, for a relationship or money or yourself. It has to be for whatever your design is, whatever is supposed to happen. And that's the only thing that I wanted to chat about today. And I hope everybody has a good day. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.